Stop panicking. Your favorite YouTuber is lying to you. You have 2 years to escape. The next 5 years will define your life. AI is coming for your job. No timeline, no deadline, no emergency. Every generation gets the same emergency siren disguised as career advice. And every single generation adapts. Humans are inventive, always have been. You're not behind. You're being sold an artificial deadline by people who profit when you panic. The actual predictors of success, the ones that have been measured for half a century, don't care what year it is. They care who you are. Today I'm giving you the 5 traits that predict success better than any deadline, any timeline, any AI take. I call it the Compound 5. By minute 6, you'll know exactly which one you're worst at, and the one move that fixes it this week. I've spent the last decade studying the actual mechanics of what makes people successful. And when you strip away the hype, you're left with 5 names: Seligman, Dweck, Mischel, Ericsson, Granovetter. 50 years of research between them. None of it requires a deadline. All of it requires you. Let's go. Which brings us to trait number 1, learned optimism. Optimism isn't about pretending life is good. It's about how you explain it when it isn't. Martin Seligman ran the original research on this. He found that when bad things happen, 3 questions decide whether you bounce back or break. Is this permanent? Is this pervasive? Is this personal? Pessimists answer yes to all 3. Optimists answer no. Same setback, 2 completely different futures. Because optimists believe a setback is temporary, specific, and situational, they keep going. And in any long game, investing, writing, building a business, the person who persists the longest usually wins. Optimism is the fuel for persistence. Next time you fail at something, write down the 3 Ps. Is this really permanent? Is this really pervasive? Is this really personal? Most of the time, the honest answer is no, no, and no. Which brings us to trait number 2, growth mindset. I know, corporate America hijacked this one. Let's not dilute it. Carol Dweck didn't write an HR buzzword. She wrote a research paper. Dweck found there are 2 ways people interpret failure. A fixed mindset says, I failed the test, therefore I am stupid. A growth mindset says, I failed the test, therefore my strategy was wrong. Same event. One reading destroys your identity. The other reads it as data. When failure is just feedback, you stop taking it personally. You adjust faster. And the speed at which you adjust your strategy after a setback is one of the biggest predictors of how far you'll actually go. Ban one sentence from your vocabulary. I'm bad at this. Replace it with, my strategy was wrong. Then change one variable and run it again. Which brings us to trait number 3, delayed gratification. You know the marshmallow study. Walter Mischel puts 1 marshmallow in front of a kid, tells them, if you wait 15 minutes, you get 2. The kids who waited grew up more successful. For decades, it was taught as a willpower lesson. But follow-up research broke that explanation. When researchers controlled for socioeconomic background, the effect shrank. Turns out, if you grow up in a world where promises are never kept, eating the marshmallow now isn't weakness. It's the rational choice. Why wait for a second one that probably won't come? So the real predictor isn't discipline. It's trust that the future will be better. Success requires believing the environment is stable enough to reward future you for what present you sacrifices. Pick one thing this week that pays off in 6 months. Do it. Track it. Prove to yourself the future actually shows up. Which brings us to trait number 4, deliberate practice. Forget the 10,000-hour rule. That was a misquote. Anders Ericsson's actual finding is brutal. Expertise isn't talent, and it isn't just time. It's structured, often painful practice aimed straight at your weakness. It works best in domains where feedback is fast and clear. Chess, music, code. If you don't know within seconds whether what you just did was right or wrong, you're not practicing. You're just doing reps. This is why ambitious writers love writing online. Either the post sparks a reaction or it gets ignored. That's deliberate practice in the wild. Skill grows where feedback is fast. If it feels easy, you're not growing. If it hurts a little, you probably are. Pick one skill that actually matters to you. Build a feedback loop around it. Ship publicly. Post the work. Let the world tell you what's broken, and fix exactly that. Which brings us to trait number 5, and this is the one that changed everything for me. Social capital. Self-help articles ignore this one because it's the only predictor that isn't purely about you. Your success isn't just what you know or what habits you have. It's what's flowing through your network. Sociologist Mark Granovetter proved that your closest friends usually have the same information you do. The biggest opportunities, new jobs, new ideas, new perspectives, they come from weak ties, acquaintances, friends of friends, strangers. December 2014. 3 years out of grad school, still living with my parents. The day after Christmas, my brother said something I couldn't unhear. He said, "I don't want to live a life I can't stand." Something moved. That same week, I messaged a guy I barely knew from the gym who worked at a Fortune 500. One message. 5 interview rounds later, I was hired at Gartner. One message to a weak tie changed every year of my life that came after. Message one weak tie this week. Not your best friend, the acquaintance, the friend of a friend. Ask one specific question. Watch what happens. 5 traits. Learned optimism, growth mindset, delayed gratification, deliberate practice, social capital. The compound 5. Success isn't a deadline. It isn't a 5-year plan dictated by a CEO with an audience. Success is who you become while training these 5 traits, and the person you become is the actual success. Comment compound. I'll send you the self-rating sheet. Subscribe. 4 deep dives are coming, 1 per trait. And if trait 5 hit hardest, watch the weak tie playbook next. I'll see you on the other side.